Liv Morgan sends heartfelt shout-out ahead of SmackDown. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I am Elena. Have a nice day. For the latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Liv Morgan shared a heartfelt update ahead of tonight's edition of WWE SmackDown. The former champion missed several months due to injury last year before her return at Survivor Series 2025. The Judgment Day star took to her Instagram story today to share a heartwarming video. Morgan gave a shout out to the person who does her eyebrows, Tao Tran, and noted that she did a great job. Last time I made a video like this, I got arrested. I'm going to avoid that this time, and I just wanted to show my brow lady some love. She really eats that, guys. All those little hairs, not mine. Thank you, she said. The 31-year-old returned at Survivor Series 2025 to help Dominik Mysterio defeat John Cena to capture the Intercontinental Championship for the second time. Dirty Dom is reportedly out of action with an injury at the moment, but the company is hopeful he can return to action ahead of Royal Rumble 2026 later this month in Saudi Arabia. WWE analyst Sam Roberts recently made a bold prediction about Liv Morgan's future in the company. Speaking on his Not Some Wrestling podcast, Roberts suggested that Morgan and Dominik Mysterio would turn babyfaces in 2026. Roberts added that he doesn't want to see Morgan betray Mysterio this year and hopes they will stick together. My third prediction is that Dominik Mysterio and Liv Morgan will turn babyface as a unit. I don't want to see Liv turn on Dominik. She could. I don't think that you need to do that. I want to see Morgan and Mysterio turn babyface. I think that is going to happen in 2026. Morgan suffered a shoulder injury during her singles match against Kairi Sane on the June 16th edition of WWE Raw. She has competed in a few live events over the past week, but has not had a match on WWE television since the injury. It will be interesting to see what the company has planned for her on the road to Royal Rumble 2026. Liv Morgan guest stars on Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay, made a cameo appearance on Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay shared a sneak peek of this week's episode of Hell's Kitchen. The clip shows former WWE champion Big E offering advice to the contestants before Liv Morgan appears to share her insight on what it takes to be a champion. Arguably, the most entertaining moment in the clip sees Braun Strowman bursting through a cardboard wall, which prompts several expletive-filled reactions from the contestants. Fans can catch Big E, Liv Morgan, and Braun Strowman on Hell's Kitchen tonight on Fox. Let's break down some walls and start 2026 with a bang on at Hell's Kitchen Fox. We're back tonight with HEWs at WWDDWBG at Young Lillifons, and Moro, and of course, a few black jackets. See you at 8/7. See you next day on at Hulu. Gordon Ramsay wrote on Instagram, "For those wondering why Braun Strowman was featured on the show, the episode was filmed in 2024, when the Monster Among Men was still with WWE. Strowman was released from the company for a second time in early 2025. As for Liv Morgan, she was the Women's World Champion at the time the episode was filmed. Liv later made her in-ring comeback from injury at WWE Survivor Series. War Games in November 2025. New details on Dominik Mysterio's recent injury. Dominik Mysterio has had another excellent season, and his rise continues to surprise everyone. Ray's son has shown that he deserves a prominent place in the most important wrestling federation in the world, and the general feeling is that he is destined to reach more prestigious goals in the near future. In addition to becoming Intercontinental Champion, he also had the chance to face a legend of the caliber of John Cena during his farewell tour. In particular, Dom was Cena's opponent at the Survivor Series, one of the most prestigious PLE in the entire WWE calendar, achieving a memorable victory after the leader of Cenation had stripped him of the title a short time earlier. However, Mysterio suffered an injury in the latter part of last year. He suffered a shoulder problem during the show, War of the Titans, staged on December 20th, and was unable to attend the WWE live event that took place in Baltimore on December 26th, where he was supposed to join forces with Liv Morgan to face Rey Mysterio and Rita Dominik will not require surgery. According to reports from top analyst Dave Meltzer during the latest edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dominik's injury would be less serious than expected, and his main goal is to return to action in time for the 2026 edition of the Royal Rumble. Dominik Mysterio. He found out he does not need surgery, Dave Meltzer stated. What I was told today is they are looking at 3 to 4 weeks. So, it's not a long-term thing. He should be back for the Rumble. The timeline is fluid, but 3 to 4 weeks is the number that he got from the doctors, I think, today or yesterday. He got the word no surgery, which was the relief, because if it was surgery, it'd be like Seth. It'd be months and months, and he'd have to vacate the titles, and it's a bad time to be injured for that long. Of a bad scenario, he got the best news. He concluded Io Sky versus Liv Morgan net worth comparison in 2025. Championships, contracts, and income streams. Liv Morgan, who is originally Gianna Gendadio, transformed from an underdog in the Riot Squad to a WWE character during her time with the company. According to estimates, her net worth in 2025 will be $3 million, a little less than that of Io Sky. Sky surpasses Morgan in total wealth and contract value, a fact that is primarily attributed to her being a title holder and WWE's investment in her as an international icon. On the other hand, Liv Morgan relies on her fan support to boost her income and has diverse revenue sources, which makes her one of the most sellable personalities of WWE, even with the small difference in wealth. Io Sky's contracts, income, and brand deals. At the start of 2025, she is already the champion of the WWE Women's World Division, approved by the high-profile encounters during which she has defended her title against Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair at WrestleMania 41. The wrestler has become so popular that she is now virtually priceless, and her title reigns have greatly helped in both NXT and on the main roster. Her career path demonstrates that there is a mixture of a wrestler's power and financial security, with titles being the main source of her income. Liv Morgan's career insights, endorsements, and net worth. The most important part of her rise included being awarded the SmackDown Women's Championship and being involved in highly publicized storylines with the Judgment Day. Morgan has been selling merchandise in social media quality engagement, mostly because of her humanness and the fact that she has a strong fan base dubbed Liv Squad. Morgan's WWE contract is a reliable source of income, but her finances are multifaceted. She earns from merchandising royalties, live event bonuses, and endorsements, thus being one of the most marketable stars at WWE. However, Morgan's brand is not limited to the wrestling ring like Io Sky's. Reports suggest that she has invested in real estate and has also taken up collaborations outside of the wrestling world. Her career indicates that there is a balance between the wrestling ring and outside the ring, which will guarantee her long-term financial growth, even if she does not hold the title for a while. Also read, Brave and Perfect. Io Sky's unforgettable trash can jump at WWE Survivor Series. War Games WWE World Title plans for Liv Morgan. Revealed WWE have big plans for Liv Morgan this year, and she's set to return to the Women's World Championship title picture at some stage. She has been presented as one of the top stars on Raw over the past year, and that's been the case since she returned at Survivor Series in November. WWE want Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vaquer. Liv Morgan has looked more like the Judgment Day's leader than ever before in recent weeks, backing Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. There were suggestions she could have issues with Roxanne after returning, but she's instead grown even closer to the former two-time NXT champion. The 31-year-old even supported Raquel when she challenged Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Championship. But she failed to win the title in a triple threat involving Nikki Bella. That's sad. Liv has been signaling she wants Vaquer's title, and it looks as though a rivalry and match between the pair is planned for this year. A potential title feud has reportedly been discussed for the future, which is why it was teased. Per Body Slam, Liv's last run with the title ended on the Raw on Netflix debut show, when she was dethroned by Rhea Ripley back on January 6, 2025. WWE are thought to be letting a rivalry with Vaquer gradually develop, and there is no imminent buildup. This could mean she waits until after WrestleMania 42 to make a move for the title, because Vaquer has other rivalries lined up. WWE sees strong value in booking the champion against Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley. Reports a few months ago suggested Lynch or Ripley are the likeliest options to challenge Vaquer at Mania in April 2026. That could still be the case, though. If Liv is being discussed as going up against La Primera, it indicates the title won't change hands at Allegiant Stadium. Stephanie Vaquer needs a Liv Morgan feud now. There were high hopes for Stephanie Vaquer when she made a red-hot start to life on the main roster after spending a brief period in NXT. Such was her star power that Triple H couldn't resist calling her up in May 2025 after she'd won the NXT Women's Championship and NXT North American Women's Championship. Vaquer made a bright start to her reign as Women's Champion, but a lack of believable challengers have proven problematic. Her most significant win came against Tiffany Stratton at Crown Jewel, and that wasn't with her title on the line. Rodriguez has shown vast improvement over the year, but still doesn't feel World Championship material. Nobody believed Nikki Bella would dethrone Vaquer, and their feud has dragged on for too long. That's why WWE should fast-track a Vaquer versus Morgan feud rather than wait for later this year. Of all the members of the women's division, other than Ripley and Lynch, she feels like the biggest star in the company. Vaquer defeating Morgan could be massive for the champion and help her gain more fan support. WWE are unlikely to have her go over Ripley, and Lynch losing the Intercontinental Championship to Maxine Dupree decreases the value in a potential win against the Irish star. Backstage report on WWE's plans for Liv Morgan, heading towards WrestleMania 42. If you were stunned by Liv Morgan's heightened meteoric rise as part of her revenge tour following her second shoulder injury in 2024, and the resounding welcome she received at Survivor Series, War Games upon returning from recovery from a dislocated shoulder injury this past June, just watch her. She's just getting started. To say 2026 will be another grand year for the former two-time Women's World Champion is an understatement. According to WrestleVotes Radio on Fightful Select, Morgan is back in the fold and is now being discussed as a potential centerpiece of the women's division. Especially at WrestleMania 42 in April, several inside sources reported that those within the company want to push her to be featured prominently in singles competition. Morgan has been officially cleared for action and wrestled her first match since June as part of WWE's live holiday tour events. As of this report, WWE is waiting for the right time to announce her in-ring return on TV. Morgan ran rampant during her revenge tour, becoming a two-time Women's World Champion, the first ever four-time WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, and the first ever Women's Crown Jewel Champion, all while stealing dirty Dominik Mysterio's heart. Since her return, Morgan has been an acting supporter and motivator for her Judgment Day allies, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, In their pursuits of chasing the women's tag team and world championships, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss take on Asuka, Kairi Sane, Nia Jax, and Lash Legend. With the women's tag team division more competitive than ever, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky will form a temporary alliance with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss in an 8-women tag team match against WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the Kabuki Warriors, Nia Jax and Lash Legend Dominik Mysterio. Injury status, WWE return date. Update. A new update has emerged on WWE Intercontinental Champion Dominik Mysterio's injury status and expected return date. Following reports that the WWE Intercontinental and AAA Mega Champion had suffered a shoulder injury, it was indicated on WWE Raw that Dominik would be gone for a while. A new update has revealed that Dominik Mysterio might be back sooner than suggested, with Dave Meltzer reporting on Wrestling Observer Radio that he doesn't need surgery, stating that the expected timeline for Dominik Mysterio's return is 3 to 4 weeks. Meltzer reports, Dominik Mysterio found out he does not need surgery. What I was told today, they are looking at 3 to 4 weeks, so it's not a long-term thing. He should be back for the Rumble. The timeline is fluid, but 3 to 4 weeks is the number that he got from the doctors today or yesterday. He got the word no surgery, which was a relief, because if it was surgery, it'd be like Seth. It'd be months and months. He'd have to vacate the titles, and it's a bad time to be injured for that long. Of a bad scenario, because getting hurt is never good, he got the best news. If you use this transcription or any portion of it, please credit WrestleTalk.com and link back to this page. Dominik Mysterio reportedly suffered this injury during the Triple Aguera de Titanes show, where he teamed with El Grande Americano in a losing effort against Rey Mysterio and Rey Fenix. The Undertaker's backstage role on this highly praised show was recently revealed. Click here to read more. If you use this transcription or any portion of it, please credit WrestleTalk.com and link back to this page. Latest reports on WrestleMania 42 plans for Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan could be a key figure at WWE WrestleMania 42 this coming April. Liv Morgan is back after missing several months of television with a shoulder injury, and while WWE is easing her back into the swing of things on Monday Night Raw, it sounds as though she'll have a busy few months ahead of her. During the latest episode of WrestleVotes Radio on Fightful Select, it was said that there is an internal push to showcase Liv Morgan as a centerpiece of the women's division at WrestleMania 42 this coming April in Las Vegas. Several inside sources that WrestleVotes has talked to want her featured prominently, perhaps in a singles capacity. The former women's world champion appeared to be a central figure in the build-up to last year's Evolution Premium Live event, prior to her injury. So it's not shocking to hear that the company has major plans for her now that she's back in the mix. Morgan has yet to wrestle since her return to the company at Survivor Series, War Games, where she helped her daddy Dominik Mysterio win back the Men's Intercontinental Championship from John Cena. But she is fully healthy. She wrestled Lyra Valkyria several times during the most recent WWE Holiday Tour, and Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select is reporting that the creative team is simply waiting for the right time for her first televised match. Liv Morgan could be in line for a Women's Royal Rumble victory. When it comes to the Women's Royal Rumble match, Liv Morgan has always been a bridesmaid and never the bride. She finished as the runner-up to Rhea Ripley in 2023 and placed second again to Bayley in 2024. She followed up those performances in 2025 with a 1 hour and 7-minute run in the Women's Royal Rumble match before she was tossed out by Nia Jax The folks over at Body Slam reported Friday morning that Morgan is under consideration for a match with Women's World Champion Stephanie Vacher down the line, but did not say outright that WrestleMania 42 was the working plan. WW also reportedly has designs on La Primera working with Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley in the near future, but the additional information provided by WrestleVotes, coupled with the Body Slam report, certainly suggests that Liv Morgan could be getting a Women's World title shot come April. If that is the case, her winning the Royal Rumble to earn it would not be at all surprising. WWE reportedly lining up major rivalries for Stephanie Vacher. It sounds as though several big names could be under consideration to face Stephanie Vacher at WrestleMania 42. Now that the calendar has flipped to January, it's time to start looking ahead to some of the major rivalries that could unfold in 2026. Women's World Champion Stephanie Vacher is in a prime position to be heavily featured throughout WrestleMania season and beyond, and the creative team reportedly has several major names within the Raw Women's division that they'd like to see work with La Primera at some point in the future. Vacher is coming off multiple successful title defenses against Raquel Rodriguez and WWE Hall of Famer Nikki Bella, and a recent backstage interaction between the Dark Angel and Liv Morgan has left many fans wondering if the former Women's World Champion is next in line for a shot at the gold. Morgan missed most of the second half of 2025 after she suffered a shoulder injury, which required surgery to correct. She made her return in November at Survivor Series War Games by helping Dominik Mysterio defeat John Cena and recapture the Men's Intercontinental Championship. While she has yet to wrestle on television, Liv has competed in a series of matches against Lyra Valkyria during the recent WWE Holiday Tour. But does that mean she's getting ready for a run at the Women's World title? Not quite yet. According to the folks over at Body Slam, Stephanie Vacher versus Liv Morgan has been discussed for some time down the road, which is why they teased it. However, it is not considered an imminent buildup. Body Slam wrote in a new report Friday morning. WWE also sees tremendous value in having Vacher face off with Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley when the time is right. This the second time in as many months that Body Slam has caught wind of Lynch and Ripley potentially beginning a program with Stephanie Vacher. Their report back in December said that both former Women's World Champions were being considered as potential opponents for La Primera at WrestleMania 42 this April. But will the timing be right? Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley locked into other title programs. At the moment, the Raw on Netflix one-year anniversary show could be very telling when it comes to the creative direction for both Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley in the months leading up to WrestleMania 42. The man is set to face Maxine Dupri in a rematch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship this coming Monday night at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, while Rhea Ripley will team with Io Sky to challenge the Kabuki Warriors for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. If either or both women come up short in their efforts, then they would have to be immediately considered as favorites to re-enter the Women's World Championship scene via the Royal Rumble at the end of the month. Liv Morgan has to be viewed as a favorite to win the Women's Royal Rumble match right now. She was prominently featured in the WrestleMania 42 marketing campaign for the women's division and is one of the more accomplished Rumble performers in recent memory, with back-to-back runner-up Thea